Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Definitive Crusade. I'm your host, the random dude, Josh, and with me, well, first and foremost, we hope that our good friend, Johnny the Machine Hughes, is enjoying his much-deserved vacation. So with me is the man, the myth, the legend. You know him, you love him, Knight.
What's up?
So
I don't know about myth or legend, but I am a man.
Well, you know, this
Got
will be
one out
another
of three.
lads.
Lads. Much like the episode where it was just Josh, me, and Johnny. Unfortunately, we couldn't have Johnny here, but fortunately, he is taking a long-needed vacation. We hope he's having a blast, staying safe, doing all the fun things over in where he went to the Bahamas, some coastal region, you know, getting sun.
We call it paradise.
Yeah, paradise.
Paradise.
Somewhere way down in the Caribbean area.
all I know is he's having a blast, and that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can tell, Freyja is not with us today. She is off in some other dimension. I'm not sure.
Freyja is doing Freyja things.
She's probably ranting about the colors.
Their art styles.
She's gonna kill me when she watches it.
But Freyja unfortunately could not make it here either due to some other things. So Freyja, we wish you the best.
Stuff, yeah.
Some interdimensional stuff. So we wish you the best, and may you be the best Norse goddess that you can be.
Exactly. But we've got some great books to talk about today.
Yeah,
so we are actually going to start off this episode of the Definitive Crusade, fun enough, with Freyja's pick. And I mean, let's be honest. This is one that even Johnny would have approved. But we're going to be talking about Zatanna, Bring Down the House, written by Mariko Tamaki, drawn by Javier Rodriguez, lettered by Hassan Atsamani Laho. I'm sorry if I know I butchered that. So my deepest apologies.
Yeah.
Covered by Javier Rodriguez, and then variant covers by Stanley Lau and Jorge Jimenez.
Stanley Art Germ, Lau Jorge Jimenez. 125 variant cover by Aldara Martinez Bueno, and the 150 variant cover by Mikel, I want to say Yanin.
But let's just put it out there.
It's
Zatanna. Wow.
This is a book. I think everyone here on the Definitive Crusade is a big Zatanna fan. We know Johnny is because fishnets. Which you can see in the cover. They're there. Zatanna is such a fun character to get around.
Oh, she's a true gem.
Just absolute wonderful character. I don't think I'm wrong in saying that we're all fans of Zatanna here.
Yeah. Well, my first initial thought, like when I saw the cover, aside from Zatanna looking amazing, the fact that this is a black label book, yes, this is where Zatanna belongs.
Mm-hmm.
So,
agreed.
Let's jump right in. I'm going to have you kick this off. What are your thoughts about Zatanna?
Okay, so first and foremost, when we get into the book, we start out with Zatanna as a young girl doing some magic for some local kids. I don't know if they're her friends or not, but doing some magic. The magic's she messes up the trick. Essentially, something happens, she messes up, they begin to make fun of her, and she gets angry. And then she goes to talk with her father, I want to say it was, about, I messed up the trick. I want you to teach me magic. Then it goes back to present day, or she has another altercation with the kids where they're making fun of her. But then it goes back to present day. She's getting ready for a show that night. She's talking to a rabbit. She's getting everything prepared. And she goes out running, and she notices something doesn't feel right. Her rabbits are acting funny. She has two shadows, but no one's behind her. She's just something's off. She's already on edge. The show happens. There's some funny. There's some funny dialogue between her and this pink-haired lady, Miss Perkins. Miss Perkins, how can I help you with? How can I help you help me by going away? I told you I'm not giving up the Millennium Hotel Group. Should give up. They should. So it's funny interactions. This lady's name is Miss Perkins. I was recently in a performance called The Play That Goes Wrong, where the butler, the person that I interacted with the most in this play was called Perkins. So I couldn't help but read this and go, Perkins! Just like how I did in the play.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun for me personally. It was a nice little touch. But something's off. That's the primary thing here. Something's off about the day, but she's going through. We find out that she has a stalker who showed up to her show 8 times now. She's trying to figure this out, and then the next performance comes back. She finally is like, I've had enough. I need to know who you are, what's going on. So she goes to talk to the stalker, and the stalker's like, I don't like tricks. I came here to see magic. Not once did you mention magic in your show. I want to see magic. Speaking of which, look behind you, which reveals this horrific monster thing coming off the stage, which surprises Zatanna. And then the stalker takes off their glasses, revealing that they have no pupils, and that she is here because of whatever you're doing with him. This is happening because of him, which is her father. And then we get a flashback to her past where she's talking about magic and why she doesn't use magic. It's because with the altercation with the kid that was making fun of her, she was like, oh, I can show you magic, and proceeds to use magic for the first time. And the kid gets he's gone. So trauma. So not only do we have a nice little look into Zatanna's everyday life, we actually see some backstory to her, which is really cool. Backstory that I have not seen before. I mean, I don't know. I'm not nearly as extensively researched as everyone else on this podcast when it comes to comic books and characters and reading everything. So this could be information that's already known to someone like Johnny or Freyja. I don't know Zatanna's full backstory. I just know there's a lot of patriarchal trauma that comes with her. But so far, the story immediately catches your attention by setting up the suspense with the stalker character, having the flashback with her backstory. The artwork itself, I didn't realize this was a Black Label book until I went back and started looking at things, because the artwork isn't typical of what is normally what we consider with a Black Label book. We always expect that dark and gritty thing. So having this vibrant color to a book, it's very well done. I mean, just this panel alone, look at all the different shades of color that the people are colored in. You have purple, yellows, greens, blues, oranges, the yellows and reds of the fire taking place. The art style itself, fantastic book.
Yeah.
Just a great first issue. We've seen first issues of Black Label books, or just books in general that are one-offs, that we can't get into because the art style is awkward. It's weird. The writing doesn't sit right. But this, I feel like, is a great example of what a Black Label book should be. You know, it's vibrant, it's colorful, it catches the eye, but we can tell immediately that there is something darker going on here. And absolutely, it's very well done.
Yeah. And one of the things that I like that you pointed out, and thank you so much for pointing it out, that this book really does do a fantastic job bringing or setting the foundation for Zatanna's origin without it feeling like an origin story. And I'm with you. Like, I personally don't know a lot about Zatanna, and so jumping into this and getting those flashbacks, which are also, you know, nightmares to Zatanna, is really setting the stage for a phenomenal story. And I don't feel like it's your typical origin where it's this thing happened, then this thing happened, then this. You know, it's not like, you know, the standard rehashing of an origin of Thomas and Martha Wayne being shot, Krypton blowing up, you know, Barry Allen getting electrocuted, blah blah blah. So to not only see Zatanna and the pain and the trauma that she's had, but how she's attempting to manage that now, this is well done. I'm with you there that the artwork in this is phenomenal. Like they did Zatanna right on this. And I don't just say that because we're getting fishnets.
Legs for days. Look, just look at this panel alone. Look.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, this panel, I will note that there was I did kind of have a weird moment with it, as far as like Zatanna's body movement seems a little awkward. I realized she's performing in Vegas. I don't know. The leg movement was just kind of off.
Well, I don't think it's her doing like a stance. I think she's doing like a
Some
lunge
sort of
forward.
Yeah. But I mean the fact that she's in Vegas and they really captured the colors everywhere is absolutely fantastic.
Very, very well done. Definitely looking into issue 2 because I'm hook, line, and sinkered. Already want to go in.
Yeah. Well, and this definitely has the feel of comics from the 80s as far as like a lot of the bright colors and the color palette. I mean, even with her hair,
very
having the blue tint in her hair. Yeah, job well done. This is definitely, no pun intended, this brought down the house as far as Black Label books go. So great job. Pick it up at your local comic book store. Definitely worth a read.
Definitely.
You know, a great pick from Freyja.
Freyja, yes, very good pick. I do want to say it is really cool how even in the writing, like towards the end of it, when she's talking to the stalker, the stranger, she says, da, 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 I'm trying to find the line right here. She says, da, da, da. Oh gosh, where is it? I saw it. Stranger, what's your name? Anger for punishment. 8th time. I just really, she's really, first off, she's really sassy. This is your 8th time in my theater. Tell me you just really love water parks. It's really funny. But there's a bit of a dialogue. There's a bit of a dialogue where she says, you didn't say magic once during your show. You call yourself a magician, but you didn't even say magic at all. And if you look back through the dialogue, she doesn't. She says things like, "Are your eyes deceived? Is this an illusion?" It's just really well done writing.
Yeah, I mean, she's trying to be the showman, but at the same time, the attendee does call her bluff. Yeah, no, I mean, this book was so well done.
Very good book.
Absolutely love this, and I'm excited for more. So, Mariko Tamaki, fantastic job. absolutely love it. Look forward to more. But moving on from the magical Zatanna, we're going to change gears. Funny enough, to another Black Label book, one that I had previously raved about.
I remember us discussing the first issue.
We're going back to the Boy Wonder, continuing the Damian Wayne story. So, Boy Wonder, this is book number 3, written by Junie Baugh, colors by Chris O'Halloran, and letters by Aditya Bidikar. First and foremost, if you haven't read any of these, please go back, start with issue 1, going in. It really sets the foundation for this. Here we see, again, this is Damian really trying to find his place in Gotham. But this time we actually get more interaction with Tim Drake, who at this point is now Red Robin. Keep in mind, and I had mentioned this before, the art style is going to throw you off for a little bit of a loop. However, it is through the eyes of Damian. Damian is still a kid. And so that's why you get that sort of kiddish indie comics feel to it. Because of the fact that, yes, he was raised by the League of Assassins. He's the grandson of Ra's al Ghul, but he's still a kid, regardless of his prodigy. And Damian, bless his heart, he is trying so damn hard to be this dark and broody and trying to be like his father, trying to be like Bruce. But Tim Drake, who is obviously been around, knows how to handle himself, especially in public, is doing his best to maintain himself in the public eye while trying to control Damian.
And it's really fun, especially towards the end when you have a big reveal moment. It's very comical.
Now, this one panel, I don't know about you, but y'all, they did Wonder Woman dirty with that statue.
They did.
It's I feel so bad. The statue of Diana, like
it's how Damian sees Diana. Just a big buff woman, big burly buff woman. He's too young. He doesn't understand the nuance of a muscle mommy.
Well, and not to mention, I mean, the statue of Batman, the head of Batman has been cut off, and Damian's
really
Damian's being Damian at this point. I got a kick out of really kind of seeing Gotham's wealthy from the eyes of Damian. Penguin is currently mayor, and damn, did they do a good job really capturing the grotesque iteration of Penguin.
Oh my god,
it definitely has that Danny DeVito feel
with the slime around the mouth. I saw the panel. I was like, you guys didn't have to do that, but all right. It is very well done how they portray all the eating. I don't know. That's just me. Even in real life, seeing like food smattered around people's mouth, that's a major ick
Yeah.
thing. And so it's
So pretty much what you're saying is you related to Damien on your
very much related to him on this point. Yeah.
I did find it interesting that they did show, three prominent figures: Maxwell Lord, Veronica Cale, and Lex Luthor, and what their net worth was.
Yeah. It's very interesting. But then again, this is information that Damien would know. And so I like to think it's almost like a Jarvis situation where as he's scanning the room, the little subtext windows pop up for each one. I had to throw a Marvel reference in here. I'm sorry.
No, it makes sense. The the other thing that kind of stood out to me later on was the conversation between Tim Drake and Lex Luthor, and we'll get to the moment of Damien running off here in a moment. But I had to laugh at Tim Drake's jab at Lex Luthor. Saying that Bruce did warn him of his unsavory reputation.
Nonsense. Peddled by illegal aliens and overzealous bloggers. I'm sure we'll find a common ground.
I mean, that is such a Lex Luthor thing to say. Like, obviously making his jab at Superman and being the figurehead he is as the head of LexCorp. It just, I don't know. It was funny.
It fits. I think it's really funny how Damien, who's, like you said, is trying to be this dark and broody imitation of Dark Knight of Bruce, sees Tim interacting with all these rich people, and he's like, ugh, what a sellout. You're trying to use my father's wealth for your own gain. You're no better than any of them. Ugh, and then runs off on his own. It's like, what do you mean? Haven't you seen Bruce interact with rich people before? He may not have. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny.
It brings up again the fact that Damien is a kid. I did get a kick that he spends all this time and energy going through the vents, and then just completely screws the pooch, ruins some tech.
He didn't ruin the tech. In the little boxes here, it actually tells you, like, hey, this hasn't been it's an experimental laser. It hasn't been passed for consumer use yet. It hasn't been greenlit, because whenever you use it, if it's in an enclosed space, it overheats and can cook you alive. And sure enough, when he uses it, it starts overheating, and he has to immediately make his way through the grate before it explodes.
Right. Yeah, and I did forget that part, but Damien's response to it is what made me laugh. Cutting edge my ass.
Yep.
That I had to throw that in there in case you didn't know what the bleeped out version was, because Damien's a kid. He shouldn't be saying those words.
Cutting edge tech my shin.
Right.
That's what he says, right? We can't tell. I bleeped it out.
Yeah.
I will have to say that is an issue that I will bring up, because Freyja's not here to bring it up. I have to bring it up for her. This is a Black Label book. Why are you bleeping out the curse words? I understand he's a kid, but this is where we're going to break the fourth wall. For the reader's point of view, we know he's cussing. You already did a great example of showing of what words we can infer from what he's saying. So why don't just write it? I think that's the only instance of bleeping out in the book.
I believe so, and I would have to believe that it has to do with the fact that Damien's still a kid. I don't know. Speculation at this point. Let us know in the comments what you think should Damien should they've just had him say whatever word it was, or was it best to be left implied? Let us know in the comments below.
Who knows? Anyways, Freyja rant over. You're welcome, Freyja. I covered it for you.
But, Damien drops down and sees, lo and behold, what is this? Well, I'm 100% sure that is the Lazarus Pit.
Yep.
Because
green liquid in DC Comics is like 9 times out of 10 going to be a Lazarus Pit.
It's either a Lazarus Pit or it's a kryptonite bath. Whatever floats your boat.
Well, it doesn't.
My vote's for Lazarus Pit. But the thing that I love about this is the fact that we see Ra's al Ghul's hand in everything yet again.
Mm-hmm.
And Red Robin. I mean, the way they designed him for this, I have no qualms about it, even though he kind of looks like almost like a Hawkman.
I feel like they definitely made I understand why they elongated the mask. I understand why, but it just looks a little too forward. It looks like he's got a giant forehead.
Right. Yeah. Very, very beaky. So, but
also, I love how he shows up there after Damien has spent hours climbing through air vents, and he's just like, air vents. What a noob maneuver there.
No, I absolutely love how they put this book together. But I said that with issue 1. Issue 2 is the same. I mean, this is a phenomenal series, and they've really done a great job with it. So,
very well done.
I also enjoy the little blips about each little Wayne Enterprises tech.
Having that small little info card there, it's a nice little touch. It's not much. It's literally not much. They could have put in like a whole panel with words explaining, but we've discussed before on the podcast how much we hate panels that are just words. So having just a little info card just to give that information, like even just the bow staff, it was like
just classic.
I'm trying to retractable
batarangs.
Yep, retractable bow staff, a classic. It's just a small little flavor text there, and it adds so much to it. It adds so much to the flavor of the book.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And the fact that it's also, again, from Damien's point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So it works, and it doesn't even take away from the story.
No, not at all. You don't feel like you're like, okay, I'm reading a story. Now I've got to take a break to read this excerpt about this item. Okay, now let's get back into the story. It flows really well.
Yeah. Yeah, at no point as we're going through all the tech did I feel like it was taking away. So, but yeah, the Boy Wonder, another solid, they knocked it out of the park with this one. Loved everything about it.
How's the Red Hood one? I didn't actually get around to reading that. I should probably go back and read it. It was good. Good. I love to hear that. A lot of times my boy gets, for those who are watching and don't know, I'm a massive Red Hood fan. So
no, they did not do Red Hood dirty on that one.
Okay, good.
It was fantastic.
I hate it when they do them dirty. They do it so many times.
No comment. But
that's right. No comment. Shush.
But what we're going to do is take a quick break as we get ready to talk about the big event book. So we're going to run a quick little ad of one of our other shows here on UCP. I love that show.
It's
If
very
you've
good.
never tuned in to K-pop Cosmos, you need to. You don't even really need to have been either be a big fan of K-pop, um, but the way that they take these artists and talk about it and all of that, it is worth checking out.
Funny story. So I was on vacation recently visiting with my best friend and his wife. And it turns out his wife has really gotten into K-pop. And when he was explaining this to me, he was just like, yeah, so she's into that now. And so they show me her side of the room is just covered with boy band posters now. And it's really funny. But
I mean,
I'd encourage her to check out the podcast, and she likes it.
you're talking to a guy who likes NSYNC and Backstreet Boys.
Look, nothing wrong with Backstreet Boys. I'm just saying, I thought it was really funny. His reaction in general was just like, yeah.
Yeah. But
Oof.
speaking of things that goes, yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about Absolute Power. This is the big event book. That's part of a bigger series. This I don't know about you, but before we dive in, let's give credit where credit is due. Absolute Power, Chapter 1, Powerless, written by Mark Waid, colors by Alejandro Sanchez, letters by Ariana Mayer, cover by Dan Mora. As I said, this is book 1 of 4. With, I mean, this has been going on since June, with tie-ins in Green Arrow, but this will be obviously 1 of 4 with other tie-ins in other books, including Batman, Green Lantern, Superman, Wonder Woman.
We actually reviewed a book that kind of keyed into what was giving the main story plot behind this one. It was the it was the issue where Superman and Lobo teamed up.
That's right.
Superman and Lobo teamed up, and during that we saw Brainiac like going through and abducting humans and looking at their lives. He was like, all this time I'm missing something. What am I missing? What do I have? What do they have that I don't? And he realizes that what he's missing is a partner, someone to love and cherish as well. And so he goes through this process of trying to build his own wife, the wife of Brainiac, much like the wife of Frankenstein. It's the wife of Brainiac. But he was thwarted. And I'm kind of getting ahead of myself and spoiling a bit, but we find out that the wife of Brainiac, who hadn't been completed, was mostly completed, but still not given a personality, but was able to become a super hyper computer or whatever. But now it's in the possession of Amanda Waller, the best person to have a hold of it. You know?
Great, Amanda Waller.
I know, right? And that was something that we discussed, not in the last episode because I wasn't
many
here
times.
for that one.
Many times.
Amanda Waller, she seems to be the most recurring villain lately, and it's almost getting exhausting seeing so much of her. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, this is an interesting book. I like it, but do I like it as good as the other two? No, because it has Amanda Waller in it. I would have loved to continue with Brainiac. I would have loved to have seen the tie-in issue of Brainiac getting, his wife, the wife of Brainiac, completed, and then going on this power trip control thing. I thought that might have been cool. But now we get Amanda Waller because it was revealed that she's actually been working with alternate universes versions of Brainiacs in order to control the supers. Like I said, I'm getting ahead of myself and kind of explaining the plot already. But we start out with a little bit of a preview. These guys are robbing a bank. Superman shows up, and then one of them fires, and oh no, Superman, I've been shot by a regular bullet. What is going on? And he begins plummeting, and that's our suspense, our kind of big reveal at the beginning to hook, line, and sinker the reader into being like, oh, what's happened? And then we get another moment where Animal Man and Animal Girl are coming back into Metropolis, only to have them, or Metropolis, maybe not Metropolis, Keystone City.
Yep.
That's what it was. But they're coming back, and then they have a mob that immediately attacks them. They're like, "Oh my God, self-defense!" Beat them up, which I don't like mob mentalities. It always makes me. I understand why people don't like them. I understand why they're written, but the whole aspect of like, oh, there's a person that's affiliated with a other group of people or color, let's immediately gang up on them and proclaim it was in self-defense. It's a bad standpoint.
Well, and the fact that this is also being, it was recorded and put online, and I mean, Batman's just watching this.
Like I said, as we're going, I understand why it was written is because it's being revealed that there is footage of superheroes going through and killing people, wreaking havoc for no reason whatsoever. The people who they thought were their heroes are actually the ones causing the most chaos. And they're like, what's going on? We're not putting out these videos. These videos aren't real. I can verify. I was with this superhero when this video was released. He did none of that. We were in the hospital when the hospital was supposedly ransacked. Nothing's happening. Turns out all of these videos and images are being produced by an AI. That's a hot topic. That's a hot topic for these days. With all the instances of AI artwork coming in, like the D&D art books, with being used for AI for voice acting. A lot of companies are now using AI voices for their voice acting. It's a hot button topic. So there's your button. There's your hot button. There's your hot word for this episode. AI, artificial intelligence, going to take over the world. Which that's
getting that much closer to Skynet. I mean,
sorry. That's my rant for the moment. Is AI. As an aspiring voice actor, as a content creator, artificial intelligence is cool. It's fun for minor things, but people who are using it to like actually steal artwork and steal voices and steal jobs from other people, it makes me angry. Anyways, there's my moment. But it is revealed that Amanda Waller has access to the wife of Brainiac, or the bride of Brainiac. That's now under her supervision. It's a sentient ultra computer and the linchpin of this whole operation that she's using to make all these videos. But it turns out that Waller also has access to a little thing called failsafe.
Yeah.
Another thing that we discussed. Remember when Batman fell out of orbit in the failsafe issue? Flashback. But she has access to failsafe, who is now giving her technology because he is working separate from Batman now, and he's wanting to. Failsafe has gained its own sentience. Apparently, is wanting to take down the supers because everything's off balance. Everything is off balance. And he is there to bring balance to the Force, Luke. Sorry. There's a lot of things that as we go on, you may see me getting heated or angry about things. Don't get me wrong. I did enjoy this book. I think
sucked you in. That's what it did.
It sucked me in. It got me to read it. Do I think it could have been written better and with a better antagonist? Yes, very much yes, because I'm tired of seeing Amanda Waller. I was
going to ask that. Does the fact that Amanda Waller changed the overall attitude towards the book, or would you have been just as sucked in if it was just Brainiac?
I love Brainiac as a villain. My answer here is yes. I would still be as interested in it because seeing Failsafe team up with Brainiac is actually kind of an interesting concept to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would actually really like to see how that interaction would come out. Failsafe, who's supposed to be bringing balance to everything by eliminating those who, like Batman. If Batman kills, Failsafe is the failsafe for when that happens.
Yeah.
So him gaining the sentience that wants to help bring superheroes who are subject to no higher power, bring them to heal, and then team up with Brainiac to do this, I think that could be cause for a little bit of an interaction there. Do I think that, there could be a moment in that interaction where Failsafe could possibly realize his actions are wrong? No, because he's a machine, essentially. And I think he's driven for a purpose. Same thing for teaming up with Amanda Waller. Do I think he'll have a coming to realization moment like, oh, my actions have been wrong this whole time? No. I think it could have been the same premise if it was Brainiac. But either way, we have Amanda Waller here. I understand why they chose Amanda. I understand why they chose Waller. It's because she's been in the background for so many things, has her fingers in all the pies. But we've seen Amanda, Task Force Z, Force Z, released back in 2022 or 21, I think. It's been 3 years.
We're no strangers to Amanda Waller having her hand in every cookie jar.
Yeah, even before then, she's a prominent figurehead.
And I think this panel, not to cut you off there, but this panel here that says this war, Amanda's war, has been brewing for years. The concept of this absolute power, I don't know, maybe this is kind of that culmination of all of that building up until now, as far as Amanda Waller is concerned. Maybe when it's all done, maybe we get a break from Amanda.
I hope so. It does make sense. It does make sense that, as you said, this is Amanda's wars, that this would be the culmination of her planning. We even get a line from Batman where later on in the issue, I'm trying to find it real quick. Waller, when Waller is making a statement to the people, her face is on the screen. She announces who she is. Batman goes, "Oh my God, Waller would never go this route unless she thinks she's already won." And so she's not playing chess; she's rolling out tanks.
Yeah.
So it does make sense that this is the culmination of all of her planning, because she's put all these pieces where she wants, and now she has everything where she needs in order to do this hostile takeover.
Yeah. She's got her ace in the hole. She's got that one card that she's ready to cast. Did I just
one card
magic reference?
I was about to hold up a card, but it's a token, and I don't think it has the same weight to it.
Originally, I was the first card I was going to grab, and then I was like, "Oh, that's an MDFC. That doesn't work."
Yeah, it doesn't work right.
But no, I don't know. This will be interesting. This is definitely Amanda's war against metahumans in general. One thing I do want to point out, the artwork in this book, gorgeous. I mean, they knocked it out of the park, grand slam with this book.
Fully agree on that one. Fully agree. There may have been one or two moments that we may have missed that someone else may notice, but
yeah,
look at the waboom, Batman and Robin, or is that no, it's Robin. Damian Robin.
Yeah.
For a second, the red and black threw me off. And
but
we were just talking about Red Hood.
Even in that panel, I mean, if you're by an explosion and you're trying to get away, I mean, that's what your body's going to do.
Yeah, you're going to fly. It's an explosion. It's going to force you away from it. And so it's they very well done.
Phenomenal job with this.
My last 2 points that I want to make here is that bringing in Amazo, I actually really, really liked that.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just having an AI supercomputer that's swaying public opinion of the superheroes, having an army of Amazos that she has built using this technology as well, go in and start doing this hostile takeover of the heroes, taking their powers. Really cool. Really cool. The last point I will make, even the magic users like John Constantine forgetting how to use magic, really nice. But the last point is that I am glad that this is only going to be 4 issues. We have seen big event books that have lasted for far too long, and it's felt really drug out.
Yeah.
So having this only as 4 issues, having them even be lengthier books if they need to fill stuff out is fine. But if it goes beyond that, if they have to make more, it feels that it goes into that drawn out territory where it's just too much information. We want an end. And so having it be 4 issues is a good, solid decision. The last panel, I know I said the last 2 things, but sorry, there's a third one I just remembered. The very last panel of John Kent being hooked up to a machine.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of cyberpunk horror is that?
You know,
Whoa.
when I saw this, I was like, I'm sorry, a what?
Yeah. Even him going, who am I?
Yeah, like he has no idea who he is.
Oh.
This whole story is going to be it's going to be a hell of a story arc, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely one that if the rest of the books follow in the same momentum of epic proportions, this would honestly be a trade, like a graphic novel worth picking up down the road, where you can have the full story start to finish. Definitely worth it. So yeah, no, job well done. I'm actually very pleased with DC as far as their books are concerned. They did very well this week for the last couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Please keep it going. Please keep it going.
Keep up this energy. The books that we reviewed today are only 3 out of
a lot
that were released recently. But if every other book has this energy, has this amount of potential,
then DC would be rolling out tanks.
Exactly. Very, very well done. I know I complained a lot about Amanda Waller in this book, a lot about some other things, but this is a solid book nonetheless. Mm-hmm. These are just my personal opinions on how I feel about Amanda and some other things, but solid book. The Amazos, the artwork, the last panel of them being like, you could even tell with the zoom in on his eye, he's being machinified, so to speak. He's instead of, maybe that's how they made the new Amazos, is that they took people and then turned them into machines, which is always a cool concept. We saw it, in Magic the Gathering recently, check out the EDH brothers. Shameless self-plug. Sorry. But we saw that in the Magic the Gathering story with the Phyrexians the Phyrexians coming in and turning things into machines. It's always an interesting concept, and it kind of breaks into one of humanity's fears, of machines taking over, AI taking over, but of ourselves just being transmuted and converted into robotic, something inorganic, is very horrific in nature. It's very cool concept. I like it. I'm using that kind of concept in my D&D campaign myself because I'm stealing that idea. It's very good. It's a very good book, and I know I've ranted a lot on this episode. I'm sorry, but
you'll have to excuse me. Al has been messaging me, and Al Mega, you dirty man.
You dirty boy.
Well, this has been a great way to start off the Absolute Power event. I'm super stoked to see where the story goes. But now is time for a moment that I never thought I would I would see. It was one of those like it'll happen someday. But we had talked about how Johnny had uh, how he's taken a much needed break, much needed vacation, and he had announced to us that he is actually stepping away from Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. I've known Johnny now for, since 2016. 8 years. I believe it was 9 years with Comic Crusaders. And so we have a short little video from the man himself, Almega, that we're going to play for you right now. And then we'll wrap it up with our thoughts and then wrap it up with the episode. So sit back, and here is Almega.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Almega. And today it's going to give a big old salute to the machine himself, Johnny Hughes. That's sadly, leaving the family, onto bigger things in life, and also a well-needed rest. I mean, my man was at this for over 9 years. That's what we call him, the machine. Thousands of reviews, hundreds of interviews on outside the panels. I mean, wow. So to think that I found this homie on Facebook 9.5 years ago, this random dude from England that just responded to a Crusader call. And next thing you know, he's become one of my greatest friends, allies, contributors, a right-hand man, if you will. Johnny, definitely miss you as part of the family. I know we're always going to be in touch. You're not really all gone because old timers are still going to be going on Undercover Capes. But outside of that, I'm definitely going to miss your presence. The family, well, as a whole, the Comic Crusaders Undercover Capes family owes you a lot. Thank you for your passion, your contributions, your energy, and your friendship. Your words that motivated me, pushed me at times when I needed them. You're a true friend, and you're definitely going to be missed. And my brother, whatever you do, just know that Almega and the Comic Crusaders got you. Wepa!
You heard it. You heard it from the man himself. Knight, I'll hand it over to you to share your thoughts and feelings regarding the machine.
So, Josh is the one that initially instigated me in joining this podcast, that invited me to join in. But Johnny is the one that has kept me going with it. When you think about people who are just a delight to work with, who actually care about their coworkers, about the people they work alongside in general, Johnny is one of those people. There have been times where, yes, I can understand he's getting upset with me on like missing a podcast, not letting him know ahead of time that I would be missing things that I failed to do, and you could tell there was a little bit of irritation there, but it was always coupled with genuine care, always asking if I'm okay, always making sure that I have things that I need, making sure I always have a person to talk to if I need to. I unfortunately have some mental issues that I'm struggling with daily, but Johnny has always been somebody that I know I can reach out to and talk to if I need to. He absolute gem of a person, and as much grief as he gives me for being a Red Hood fan, he will be missed, genuinely. So, Johnny, I'm on this podcast much less of a time than the others, but I have grown to equally appreciate you as much as they have. You are a wonderful human being, and I only wish you the best in any future endeavors that you take, and I will miss you on the TDC. Truly.
I'm so glad I had you go first because
You're like Talk. Come on.
So I've known about this for a hot minute, and one podcast that means the absolute most to me was during our virtual con 2. It was a special episode of Outside the Panels in memory of my mom. I had asked Johnny to host that, interviewing myself and my sisters, because and if you go back and watch that particular virtual con, we had raised money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And sitting down with my sisters, talking about my mom, and having that moment, not only with my sisters but with Johnny, that is a podcast I will cherish forever. Words cannot describe the love and respect that I have for him. He's been there. It's no surprise to anyone. I had stepped away for a little bit as I was going through a variety of things within my personal life, and Johnny was always there, reaching out to me, supporting me in whatever way he could. And so, as much as it breaks my heart to see him go, he definitely has earned his respect, not only in the comic book podcast reviewer world, but honestly as an icon. If I were to create a Hall of Fame within Comic Crusaders, he would be the first inductee. And so be on the lookout. You never know what will happen. If there is a Hall of Fame, he's the first one to go. So Johnny, I wish you the absolute best. We will keep in touch as always.
Yeah.
But with that being said, there's going to be a little bit of a break for the Definitive Crusade. And there's going to be some changes, and I think exciting changes. The idea that the Definitive Crusade will ride off in the sunset with Johnny the Machine Hughes. He's been here since the beginning, and 205 episodes. That in the podcast world, that is a huge achievement.
It is.
I know a lot of shows that don't even make it to 50 or 100, let alone 200. So stay tuned to Undercover Capes and Comic Crusaders for some big changes. We'll call it a big event, kind of like the Absolute Power.
Let's just say I can make as many Marvel references as I want without feeling like a traitor.
Right? So I honestly think this will be good. It's podcasts are always evolving, and that's what we're going to be doing here. So
like
stay tuned for your regularly scheduled new programming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's going to be it for this episode of the Definitive Crusade. Make sure you tune in to all of our shows here on Undercover Capes, including K-Pop Cosmos, which obviously we shared.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we've got the Old Timers Comic Book Show. Make sure to watch out for Outside the Panels. But Knight, where can people follow you?
So Knight is over there.
Yeah.
Night
It's right there.
is shorthand for the Late Night channel. You can find me over on YouTube, which I'm going to be doing some new stuff with here come shortly. Some new changes. It seems to be the theme of this episode. But I'm going to be hopefully making some more long form content that can go there rather than just being my Twitch VODs. Segue into Twitch. You can follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/the Late Night channel. Once again, that's night with a K. Right now, I'm streaming Elden Ring. I'm bonking my way through Elden Ring with my strength build.
I was gonna say, who hurt you? It's Elden Ring.
I love Elden Ring. Okay, it's great. And actually, the time of recording, I'm probably going to be live right now when this episode releases. I'm going to be doing one of the toughest boss fights in the game, and I'm going to be doing it with a very not meta build. I'm going to hate myself. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a blast. But if that's something that interests you, definitely check out. Once again, that's twitch.tv/the Late Night channel. You can also follow me on TikTok. Oh my God, I almost forgot. TikTok is my main platform. I do Dungeons and Dragons stuff. I'd make funny content over there, small little clips and skits that I do with characters that represent me and me representing my own characters. It's a lot of fun.
It's actually quite impressive, the amount of time and effort he puts in. So definitely check him out on TikTok. You really should.
Also, give me your money, please.
If y'all didn't know, this is not the only thing that he and I do.
Nope.
If you're a fan of Magic the Gathering, check out the EDH brothers. We are going to be playing a lot more Magic, especially now that Modern Horizons 3 is out.
Oh my God, Modern Horizons 3.
Assassin's Creed, and Bloomborough.
Oh, Bloomborough looks awesome, dude. Oh!
We could do a whole separate episode just on Bloomborough alone, but we'll
keep that for we'll keep that for the EDH brothers.
Yes.
We'll keep that for the EDH brothers.
So check this out, and I mean, come November, if you're in Utah, we may be at the Magic Summit.
And this will be my first time out there, and I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
I mean, that event is a blast. So check it out. Look up the EDH brothers on all the socials. And of course, head over to our parent website, comiccrusaders.shop, with all of your comic book reviews and all sorts of shenanigans we do over there. So check it out. But again, thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Night, it's always fun.
Oh, yeah, I try to keep things fun every now and then.
I mean,
when people aren't making fun of me for being a Red Hood fan.
I know, but see, this was a good last episode.
Lads.
Awesome. Well, we'll catch you all on the next one.
Peace. Bye.